You know that feeling of helplessness that hits in a crisis? It can be absolutely overwhelming. But what if you could flip that anxiety on its head and turn it into a clear, actionable plan? Well, that's exactly what we're going to build today. A guide for you, your family, and your community. Let's get started.
And look, this is the fundamental truth right here. Before you even think about food, water, or shelter, the very first battle you've got to win is the one inside your own head. It's that panic. It's the internal enemy that can sabotage everything else you try to do.
So what it all boils down to is this. You have a choice. You can let panic take the wheel, which, let's be honest, leads to chaos, bad decisions, and isolation. Or you can choose a plan, and a plan brings calm, clear steps, and teamwork. The only real antidote to that fear is knowing exactly what you need to do next. And we're going to break this plan down into 3 key levels: your own safety, your family's, and then your whole community's.
Okay, let's dive right into the most urgent moment imaginable. When you hear that emergency siren, it's not background noise, and it's definitely not a suggestion. Think of it as a command. Your response can't have any hesitation. It has to be completely automatic.
Now this is where it gets really interesting, because there's some simple physics behind this life-saving rule that makes so much sense once you hear it. See, that first wall, its job is to take the initial hit from a blast. But it's the stuff that comes flying after the blast, the debris, the shrapnel, that often does the most damage. That's where the second wall becomes your absolute lifesaver. It stops all that flying junk. It's a real strategy.
So let's lock these 3 actions into your brain. They need to be automatic. Step 1, get to an interior space. A hallway or a bathroom works great. Step 2, apply that 2-wall rule. And step 3, and this one is absolutely non-negotiable, check for at least 2 ways out.
And please, burn this into your memory. This is exactly why you have to think about this stuff before anything happens. A shelter with just one way out isn't a safe space. It's a trap. Simple as that. If that one exit gets blocked by rubble or fire, you're completely cornered. Planning your exits ahead of time isn't just a good idea, it's everything.
Okay, so you've got your immediate personal safety down. Let's level up. Because a crisis almost never happens when everyone's sitting together at home, right? What happens when you're at work, the kids are at school, and your partner's out running errands? This is where the what-if plan becomes critical.
Look, this is a conversation every single family needs to have, like tonight. First up, you need a primary and a backup meeting spot. No question. Second, a low-bandwidth communication app. Something like Signal is great for when the cell networks are totally jammed. Third, you need an out-of-state contact, someone far away from the chaos who can be your family's information hub. And fourth, and this might sound old school, a physical message drop location.
And this brings us to a really crucial insight. In our super high-tech world, sometimes the best tool is the simplest one. When everyone's phone is dead and the networks are down, that little piece of paper tucked into an agreed-upon spot suddenly becomes the most powerful communication device on the planet. The peace of mind that gives is just incredible.
All right, so once your family plan is solid, you start to see how this same logic, it just scales up. And honestly, this is the biggest mental shift we all have to make. We've got to move from thinking about individual survival to collective resilience. You know that idea of the lone wolf surviving the apocalypse? Yeah, that's a total myth. Real survival is found in the strength of your community.
Seriously, I want you to stop and really think about this for a second. You see these people every day, but what do you really know about them? Who are they? That quiet guy you wave to? He might be an ER nurse. The family with the minivan? Logistics experts right there. Your street isn't just a bunch of houses, it's a team of specialists waiting to be activated.
So, the homework here is to start mapping these assets out, now, before you need them. Figure out who the doctors and nurses are, who has a truck or van. And oh, this is a big one, get to know the managers of the local stores or pharmacies. They are literally the gatekeepers to vital resources. And don't forget to figure out who needs help the most and assign volunteers to check on them.
And guess what? Just like with your family plan, your community needs backups for communication. Sure, a WhatsApp group is fantastic while the power's on, but here's that theme again. When the high-tech stuff fails, and trust me, it will, that old-school corkboard in a central spot, it becomes the single most important information hub for miles around.
Okay, so you're organized, you're talking to each other. Now what? How do you actually manage the day-to-day grind of survival? This is where teamwork stops being a nice little idea and becomes an incredibly powerful practical strategy.
This slide just nails the concept of efficiency. I mean, think about it. 10 different families, each making their own little meal over their own little fire. That is a massive waste of fuel, which is now a precious resource. But one community kitchen, one giant pot of soup, that feeds everybody and barely uses any fuel in comparison. It's just smarter.
And that exact same logic applies to getting supplies. Why on earth would you have 10 different people from 10 families all standing in 10 different, dangerous lines? It makes so much more sense for one person to go with a list for 10 families. One person hits the pharmacy, another hits the grocery store. You save a ton of time and you keep 9 other people safe.
You have to start treating information gathering like it's a mission. So you form these little recon teams, right? And you give them clear goals. You guys find a working water tap. You guys find a place we can charge our phones. And when they come back, the info has to be specific. The store is out of bread, that's useless information. Okay, the bread is gone, but they have frozen dough in the back and they're staying open till 3 p.m. Now that is actionable intelligence. That helps everyone.
And you know, in the middle of all this planning and logistics, it is so easy to forget something really important. Because true resilience, it isn't just about being efficient. It's about holding on to your humanity. Something as small as putting out a shared bowl of water for the neighborhood pets, that's a powerful symbol. It proves you're still a community that cares, not just a bunch of individuals trying to survive.
So, when you boil it all down, this is the core message right here. All those little lines that divide us, the fences between our yards, the numbers on our apartment doors, they disappear. You're not just neighbors anymore. You're a single team with one mission, getting through this together.
So, I'm going to leave you with this one last thought to chew on. We spend so much time and money prepping our own homes, right? Stocking our own pantries. But what if the single greatest survival resource we have, the one that can truly see us through anything, is waiting right outside our front door? The only question is, are you ready to turn the key?